nice.
Yeah, and they did great.
Yes, sir.
The real or
You want a mint?
the? Right.
Stop laughing.
I know.
Let's call to order the workshop meeting for May 2nd, 2023 at 5 p.m. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Lestoviak.
Here.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Here.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Here.
Councilmember Nichols.
Here.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. Is the mayor around? Mike?
He should be.
We can come back on that.
Okay.
We'll move on. Let's go to discussion on communication from the public.
So number one, request from James Fisher on behalf of Revitalize Dunkirk, requesting to provide a hydration station at Washington Park for participants in the annual Memorial Day Parade on May 29, 2023.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none. Number two.
Request from Douglas Huron on behalf of Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield of Western New York to use Washington Park on Saturday, August 5th, 2023 from noon to 4 p.m. for their second annual Family Fun Day community event. Also requesting a third-party entity to cover liabilities, assistance from DPW and the Dunkirk Fire Department to provide water for the use of a water slide, and requesting assistance with portable toilets as Washington Park does not have access to public restrooms.
Any discussion, council?
I do. On that third-party entity, do you want to speak on that? I mean, isn't that their liability insurance as well? Because they're having that party bouncer and everything else.
Oh, okay.
So I did, ma'am,
Yeah.
I spoke to Mr. Huron. I went over the water with him and also with the fire chief and with the personnel at DPW. They said that the water should not be an issue for them to provide water. I told Mr. Huron that the city would not provide porta-johns, that is not something that the city is likely to do, and that we would most likely not set a precedent at his event. I also informed him that liability coverage is a necessity and that the city is not used to providing coverage against itself for other participants. He said that he would look elsewhere to see if they could find another party to cover their liability for their event. And the last one, I believe I've covered them all, man.
You did. So are they going to inform you or inform someone if they're going to get their own coverage or be able to get it?
He said that they're gonna go forward with this as if they have the coverage, because they're pretty sure that someone will step up.
Okay.
So as a group,
Are you
when we,
comfortable? I
So-
wanna make sure that Michael's comfortable.
yeah, and this is what I was just gonna say here.
Well, what I'd do is I'll follow up with them, okay, and make sure that that's in place so that you're assured of that, okay?
I think this might be one we wanna table till next meeting to allow Mike to do some research and get ducks in a row here.
Councilman,
Yeah, sure.
I agree with that, and I can reach out to them. If council is okay with them providing, I can put them in touch with our portable toilet vendors, so they can hire them themselves. But it would be, like Edwin says, a precedent. Are you okay with having a portable toilet there for this event? When I reach out to him and tell him who to contact?
If I may, normally when we have, like a bounce house or anything like that, we require that the company that provides them cover their own liability, up to $1 million in case anything happens. So maybe something like that would work for the portable shops.
Well, the good thing, this is until August 5th, so we're not under the gun here. So I think the prudent thing moving forward, if we all agree on this, is
Yes.
let city attorney go through, let's tie up any of the loose ends, and then we can act on it at the next meeting if need be.
Sounds good.
Okay?
That sounds good.
Number 3?
Number 3, request from Tim Texter, principal of the Dunkirk Intermediate School. Kim Texter, principal of the Dunkirk Intermediate School, requesting to have a Dunkirk police officer at the music concert held in the auditorium on Wednesday, May 16, 2023, from 5:45 until 8 p.m. I do believe she asked to have that police officer inside the auditorium when the music was going on.
Any discussion, council? Chief, is this anything different than what they would do for a ball game or?
Yeah, council, refer to the PBA.
Yeah,
And then the
exactly.
school covers the cost of it.
Okay, very good.
Okay, thank you.
Number 5, notice of claim from Dennis Karen of Deer Street for a hole in the roof allegedly due. Wow, let's retract that. Number 4, notice of claim from Melissa Lynn Warner of 18 Lafayette Street, Silver Creek, New York, for damages done to her tire allegedly due to hitting a pothole on Lakeshore Drive East.
Any discussion, council? Okay, hearing none. Number 5.
Number 5, notice of claim from Dennis Karen of Deer Street for a pothole in the roof allegedly due to a fallen branch from a city tree.
Any discussion, council? Okay, hearing none. Number 6.
Loudspeaker permit request from Juan Rivera on behalf of the Unique Car Club to use amps and speaker for DJ at the Chautauqua County Fairgrounds on Saturday, June 10th, 2023, from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. for his car show.
Any discussion, council? Chief, would you like to weigh in on this?
As you all will see, I signed off on only the DJ requests for these events. I did not sign off on the noise competition events for obvious reasons that we've had issues in the past. This has now grown from 1 to several events that are going to be happening up there this year. I, in good conscience, cannot sign off on an event that has a noise competition. I've received phone calls from residents of the community already asking that we not approve these. I know last year, the council overrode that, and I'm okay with that, if that's what all of you decide to do, but, you all know my opinion on the loud music and the loud noise. It's something that, we enforce vehemently in the police department, and it's, one of my pet peeves, so personally, I could not sign off on a noise competition. I could sign off on allowing the DJs. Thank you.
Yes, please.
I was just wondering, I wonder if there's the business building and it has electricity and the doors open to the back. And I'm just wondering if anybody has suggested that to him and.
Well, this is indoors. He's moved it indoors. I mean, that's one of the provisions here. And I appreciate what the chief's saying relative to a noise competition. It's a music competition. We did our office did talk to Mr. Rivera, and we actually have worked out conditions. Actually, last year you placed conditions on this. These, not the DJ events, but just the music events within the shelter. And so we do have conditions that were shared, I believe, and it's for the event dates of July 29 and September 2nd, and we have a bond requirement. We have Mr. Rivera maintaining a record for each competitor, which will include the competitor's name and plate number, so that there's actually, we know who's involved. Mr. Rivera agrees that should a competitor violate any ordinance, they'll be stripped of any awards. And he also understands the offending party, as well as the Unique Car Club, will be held liable for the maximum allowable fines under the law, and that's $250 per violation. I understand we don't have decibel reader, if you will, anymore, so that's an interesting aspect. And remember, we might have talked about that relative to Mr. Doltz. You know, that, you know, we have in our noise ordinance 60 decibels a block from the noise source, and so certainly that has to be, you know, honored relative to this, but we do have that condition. Then should the Dunkirk Police Department receive 2 or more, and I would just ask that that be actionable complaints regarding the events, the Unique Car Club will assist the Dunkirk Police Department with immediately shutting down the event. And again, I don't think that happened last year.
One of the other issues that we've had with this and the prior event from the year before as well, it's not just what happens at the fairgrounds, it's the coming and the going. We receive a lot of complaints of the cars that are coming and going from this event because they're already trying their music out on the way there and then on the way out.
Yeah, and I did talk to Councilmember Nichols, and she suggested that, you know, that there might be police enforcement.
Which we did last year. We did write tickets last year for them coming and going, but that does not stop our residents from disrupting their quality of life.
Correct.
Sure, and I think that was the complaint also that was made, you know, to my office relative to some other events. And, you know, we try to work through those things, and that's why our office contacted Mr. Rivera, and he is going to be here tonight, is my understanding. So I think any of this could also be addressed with him if the council was so inclined. And then it's understood that should any of these conditions be violated, there will be no further consideration for future events, and any events scheduled in the future would be canceled. So, you know, it's pretty strict, and we don't do this with everyone, which again is a little bit of a concern of the law department. I mean, I think, you know, we need to be conscientious relative to how we approach any of these things. You know, conditions.
The only thing I'd like to say to that is,
Yeah.
everyone doesn't disrupt graduation and a wedding. I was there that day,
Sure.
blocks away.
And I'm
you
not
couldn't hear
arguing
convention
any of
speakers.
that, Councilmember D'Amico. I just, you know, you know, just need to state those things, I think, for the, you know, for the purposes of the council and how we move forward.
Councilman?
Chief Orlano, was there a profound difference from last year and the year before? Was there any kind of?
Yeah, there were less issues last year versus the prior year. Prior year was more.
Were there still issues though last year? Were there still issues
Yeah, we
last
still
year?
had issues. We had a lot of complaints of the cars coming and going. We did issue some appearance tickets for noise ordinances of people coming and going from the event. That were still playing their music loud as they were coming and going.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, let's move on to 7.
Would it be fair to group 6, 7, and 8 and just mention that the dates are the 29th and the September 2nd? Those are all for DJs.
Attorney Bobson,
Yes.
can we get a ruling on that? Can we lump these?
Just for the workshop, not for the meeting.
Yeah, I'm sorry, what would you like to do, Mr.
The
DeMico?
clerk had asked if we could lump 6, 7, and 8 in the workshop together. Just note the dates.
Yeah, I don't see that as being a problem. Do you want, you also have, do you want to treat 9 differently then? Is that?
9 and 10.
Yeah,
9 and 10
okay,
would be
They're
suggested.
indoor.
Can I move on with 9, sir?
So, let me just understand that. So you just want to, you're trying to lump all the DJ ones, is that correct? Or all of them?
Just the DJ, yes.
Just for the workshop, sir.
Okay.
And is that fine?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So number 9, loudspeaker permit request from Juan Rivera on behalf of Unique Car Club to have an indoor audio competition at his car show at the Chautauqua County Fairgrounds on Saturday, July 29, 2023, from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m., following all stipulations and conditions as agreed upon with the law department.
Any discussion?
I just want to add to that too, because we have from 1 to 5 on here. But you have people, as they did in past years, coming in early so that they could get set up and get their place and positions and everything else for these shows. Remember when we had them coming in very early, Chief? And when they were coming in, this is right after 8 o'clock in the morning. And unless there's something that's stipulated that they don't start their music, or nobody up there, because you have a lot of elderly people that live up in that neck of the woods, you know that, Marty, that do sleep in, and especially on a weekend, that the music not be heard as they're coming in to do their show for the indoor loudness. And that's supposed to be under the 30 seconds, I believe. Isn't that what he had last year, 30 seconds that they had for sound? That was my concern, of how early they're gonna be coming in with their vehicles. Because all this is built in their trunks.
You'll be out there, give them, ask them.
Any other discussion on 9? Okay. 10?
Number 10, loudspeaker permit request from Juan Rivera on behalf of the Unique Car Club to have an indoor car audio competition at his car show at the Chautauqua County Fairground on Saturday, September 2nd, 2023, from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m., following all stipulations and conditions as agreed upon with the law department.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none. 11?
Loudspeaker permit request from Douglas Huron on behalf of Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield of Western New York to use amps and speakers for live music on Saturday, August 5th, 2023, from 12 p.m. until 4 p.m. for their 2nd annual Family Fun Day community event at Washington Park.
Any discussion, council? Okay, let's go backwards. Mayor, communication from the mayor? Okay, thank you. Okay, how about summaries of standing committees, boards, and commissions? Councilwoman Woods-Scovia? Romano? Stoyl? Nichols? I don't have anything either. How about discussion on unfinished business? I don't believe there's any. Discussion on pre-filed? I don't believe we have any. We don't. Discussion on new business? I don't know of any.
No, sir.
Okay. With that, before we go into adjournment of the workshop, can I have a executive session? Executive session, the medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation. So moved. I have a motion from Stoyles, a second by Nichols.
Councilmember Lescoviac?
Aye.
Councilmember Vimanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl?
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols?
Aye.
Councilmember Alarcon?
Aye. That carried. And motion to adjourn workshop. I have Nichols, seconded by Bamano.
Councilmember Lescoviac?
Aye.
Councilmember Vimanto? Aye. Councilmember Stoyl?
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols?
Aye.
Councilmember Alarcon?
Aye. Workshop's adjourned.
was handcuffed to a chair.
Yeah.
I go to UB
Mayor?
neurosurgery.
Let's call to order the regular meeting for May 2nd, 2023 at 5:41 PM. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Laskoviac.
Here.
Councilmember Bamanto. Here. Councilmember Stoyl.
Here.
Councilmember Nichols.
Here.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, certification of the prior meeting.
This is to certify that an official copy of the minutes of the Common Council meeting of Tuesday, April 18th was presented to the mayor on Friday, April 28, 2023. Pursuant to Section 3.03 of the Dunkirk City Charter, all items presented to the mayor are now in full force and effect. In witness whereof, I have here to set my hand and the seal of the city of Dunkirk, New York, this second day of May 2023.
Okay, need a motion for a resolution dispensing with the reading of the minutes and approve them as presented.
So moved.
Nichols, seconded by Laskoviac.
Councilmember Laskoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried. Reading of the privilege of the floor regulations.
The privilege of the floor shall be extended to any person appearing for themselves, in which case that individual shall be limited to 3 minutes, and to any person representing a group who shall be limited to 5 minutes. When recognized, please stand and state your name and address. The city clerk shall have the duty of maintaining such time limits, and the councilman at large may determine in his discretion whether individuals are speaking for themselves or representing groups. Councilman at large D'Amico shall maintain good order and may require any speaker to cease speaking if remarks are made in bad taste, are slanderous, or non-germane to any action taken or contemplated by council. The time limits specified shall be strictly adhered to, except that a speaker may be allowed to complete a statement or thought started before such time has expired.
Okay, privilege of the floor is now open, if anyone would like to speak. Thank you. State your name and address, please.
Jim Fisher, 91 West 5th Street, with Revitalized Dunkirk. And I just want to mention our hydration station at the end of the Memorial Day Parade. This will be our third one. It's on the agenda tonight, so just want to say it's our third one. And it's amazing the amount of frozen pops and water and Gatorade that we give out at the end of the parade, about 300 frozen pops, 5 to 8 gallons of Gatorade, water, and it's just a great thing to see the kids that are in the parade the Little Leaguers coming and getting their treats and just having a good time. Big crowd sitting there at the end of the parade. So just want to mention that. It's coming up. Thank you.
Yep, thank you guys for what you do. Anyone else like to speak? Seeing no one. Going once, going twice, third time. Floor is now closed. Communication from the mayor, including disapproval messages. Mayor?
Mr. Chairman, just want to update the council and the public regarding our DRI award. Tomorrow, we will be meeting with representatives from New York State, I believe with our consultants as well. And that'll be the first meeting that we will be having regarding the process for DRI. I'd like to have our development director, Vince DeJoy, just provide you more details about that.
Thanks, Mayor. As the mayor stated, tomorrow will be our kickoff meeting. We will be introduced to our consultants that will be working with the city, setting up a lot of public opportunities for public input and to be able to provide some direction as to what the strategic goals and objectives will be, and be reviewing potential projects. There'll be a call for projects. There'll be projects that we basically included in our application submission that will be reviewed. But this will be a very fast-moving process that will, as the mayor mentioned, will begin. There will be a local board of community stakeholders that will be seated, that will basically be part of the process and vote on the potential projects that will be included in the strategic investment plan that will be completed sometime towards the end of summer. That plan will then be submitted to the state for final approval and awarding of the projects. We'll likely submit 12, 13 projects that will total probably $13 to $14 million, and from there the state will come back with $9.7 million worth of project awards. So we should be hearing more after the mayor and I participate in this conference tomorrow with Department of State and with our consultants that have been assigned to us.
Thank you. Mayor?
Mr. Chairman, also just another quick update. It appears that our boat that was ordered, our fire boat, is in process, and we should have it hopefully by Memorial Day here. That's all I have. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, let's move on to communication from the public and petitions. Number one,
request from James Fisher on behalf of Revitalize Dunkirk, requesting to provide a hydration station at Washington Park for participants in the annual Memorial Day Parade on May 29, 2023.
any discussion, council? If not, I need a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as well as approve subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions. I have Nichols with a second by Babano.
Councilmember Discoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried.
Number two, request from Douglas Huron on behalf of Highmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Western New York to use Washington Park on Saturday, August 5th, 2023 from noon until 4 p.m. for their second annual Family Fun Day community event. Also requesting a third-party entity to cover liabilities, assistance from DPW and the Dunkirk Fire Department to provide water for the use of a water slide, and requesting assistance with portable toilets as Washington Park does not have access to public restrooms.
Any discussion, council?
Make a motion, table this?
Yeah, we had the discussion and workshop. There is some wording in here that our city attorney and our clerk and our DPW will reach back out. I have a motion to table. Can I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Stoyl.
Councilmember Discoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried.
Number three, request from Kim Texter, principal of the Dunkirk Intermediate School, requesting to have a Dunkirk police officer at their music concert held in the auditorium on Wednesday, May 16, 2023, from 5:45 PM until 8 PM.
Any discussion, council?
You're good, chief.
Sounds good, just refer to the PBA, please.
Okay, can I have a motion to refer to the PBA?
So moved.
Nichols, seconded by Bomano.
Councilmember Laskoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried.
Number 4, notice of claim from Melissa Lynn Warner of 18 Lafayette Street, Silver Creek, New York, for damages done to her tire allegedly due to hitting a pothole on Lakeshore Drive East.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none, can I have a motion to refer to the Law Department and Public Works?
So moved.
Nichols, seconded by Litskoviak.
Councilmember Laskoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Carried. Aye,
Number
I'm
6, notice of claim from Dennis Karen of Deer Street for a hole in the roof allegedly due to a fallen branch from a city tree.
Any discussion, council? If not, I need a motion to refer to the Law Department and the Department of Public Works. Councilman Bomano,
So moved.
seconded by Nichols.
Councilmember Laskoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried.
Number 6, loudspeaker permit request from Juan Rivera on behalf of Unique Car Club to use amps and speakers for DJ at the Chautauqua County Fairgrounds on Saturday, June 10, 2023, from 1 PM until 5 PM for his car show.
Any discussion, council?
Yeah, the discussions in the workshop, were we gonna combine 6, 7, and 8 with one, into one, or was that just for the workshop?
That was just for the workshop.
Okay. I just have a question of why we need to have 3 car shows in one season for one particular group. Lakeshore Street Rods has one, and they do make a nice donation to a charitable organization in the city of Dunkirk, and I'm not in favor of this with the vehicles that come into the city with the noise that they cause for the residents that live on Central Avenue and on any of the side streets. And my question during the workshop was, what time of day were these cars going to be coming in? The past couple of years, they've been coming in at very early in the morning to get a spot so that they get first pickings of where they're going to be in for the competitions that they are coming in for. And that's my comment.
Okay. Any other discussion? If not, Chief, I know we talked about this in the workshop, but if you could just give your feeling on any of these?
Yes, sir. As we talked about in workshop, I did sign off on the loudspeaker permits related to the DJs for the bands. The ones I did not sign off on were for the noise competition. And as you all know, my stance, I've always been the same on my stance with noise competitions. I'm very adamant about noise ordinances in this community. And I know last year the council overrode to allow it, which is fine. I don't have an issue with that, but from my standpoint, the noise competition, I just cannot support it. The noise coming and going has been an issue that I received phone calls from, and our officers receive phone calls from on the desk while these competitions are going on. And it disrupts the quality of life. The issue we had 2 years ago was not good at all for the entire community. Now, I realize last year they did a better job with it, and I commend them for that. But me personally, I can't support a noise competition just for that simple fact that if it gets out of hand, then it would come back on me. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bobstein, I know you want to speak, but can I bring one other thing out? On the application for a loudspeaker permit, if you look in the top under events specifics, there is a statement, no more than 3 days total per individual group per year on that piece. Thank you.
We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
So you have
6. There's 1,
I think there's 4
2,
days
3.
on that.
I think there's only
Three.
3.
You got one June 10th.
June 10th.
29th on September. September.
There's only three,
And you got July, and that's the same date as that.
the 10th, the 29th.
Same date. Doesn't matter, I'm voting no on everything. This one's September is the same as that one. It's the comings and goings.
Right. But it's the same individual, that's.
We had two last year. The indoor one that was in the ag
Right.
building, you know, with the,
How's that breeze coming?
the windows open.
Okay.
Right, so you actually have, as I understand it, just the 3 dates. Let me just run through it.
Okay.
Yeah,
You've got June 10th, and that's DJ.
Yep.
You've got July 29, DJ.
Yep.
I have September 2nd,
Okay.
which is DJ. There's 2 other applications, but they're for the same day, and it's just the car competition. So that I've got July 29, so it's just the same day.
Okay.
And then I have September 2nd, which again is the same day, and that's the car competition.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I believe that, you know.
Meets the criteria.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Those are proper and fit within that requirement. You'll recall that anything, the exception on that is for waterfront, and these are at the Chautauqua County Fairgrounds.
Correct.
So that would be the limitation, but I believe these applications do comply with that limitation.
Okay. Okay, if nothing else from council, can I have a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as,
If I could though.
Yep.
Just because, I just want to be sure, so if I'm understanding correctly, we're just working with number 6 at this point?
That's correct.
Is that?
Yes.
Okay. And, you know, because there's just a mixture here, because I believe this one is a DJ, the next one is a DJ, and then number 8 is a DJ.
Correct.
And just for clarification, I just want to be sure, Chief Ortolano, I believe you were talking primarily about then 9 and 10, is that correct?
That's correct. I signed off on 6, 7, and 8. I did not sign off on 9 and 10. As I had said, noise competitions, I just can't sign off on. Thank you.
okay? All right, I would need a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as well as approve subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions. I have a motion from Bomano. I have a second by Litskoviak.
Councilmember Laskoviac,
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto. Aye. Councilmember Stoyl,
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
No, carried. I'm going to go with number 7.
Loudspeaker permit request from Juan Rivera on behalf of Unique Car Club to use amps and speakers for DJ at the Chautauqua County Fairgrounds on Saturday, July 29th, 2023, from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. for his car show.
Any discussion, council? Okay, hearing none, I would need a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as well as approve subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions. Motion by Bomano, seconded by Litskoviak.
Councilmember Laskoviac,
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto. Aye. Councilmember Stoyl,
No.
Councilmember Nichols,
Yes.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
No, carried.
Number 8, loudspeaker permit request from Juan Rivera on behalf of Unique Car Club to use amps and speakers for DJ at Chautauqua County Fairgrounds on Saturday, September 2nd, 2023, from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. for his car show.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none, could I have a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as well as approval subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions?
So moved.
Councilwoman Litskoviak, seconded by Bomano.
Councilmember Laskoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
No.
Councilmember Nichols.
Yes.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
No, carried. Number 10.
Number 9, sir.
I'm sorry.
9.
Number 9, loudspeaker permit request from Juan Rivera on behalf of Unique Car Club to have an indoor car audio competition at his car show at the Chautauqua County Fairgrounds on Saturday, July 29, 2023, from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m., following all stipulations and conditions as agreed upon with the law department.
Any discussion, council? Yes, Councilwoman.
I think because Juan Rivera had a distinctive improvement from the first year, and he really wants it to work and is willing to work with the city administration and the officers. I just wanted to say that I'm going to go forth with saying yes.
Any other discussion? Yes, sir, Councilman.
Bobbsey, can you read the stipulations,
Absolutely.
fines and so on?
Yes, I will. And just for record purposes, I did have an opportunity to speak with Mr. Rivera, and I do apologize. Mr. Rivera is here, so I had discussed all of this with Mr. Rivera, and I do appreciate him being here. So the conditions actually were worked out from last year, and as Chief Ortolano explained, there were vast improvements, and also Councilmember Lichkoviak mentioned, vast improvements from, I guess, the experience you had originally, Councilmember D'Amico, so that with the conditions last year, we have rolled those over and made those part of the law department's requirements if the council were to approve these. And that is that Mr. Rivera must have a $2,000 bond for each event. And so these apply to both 9 and 10, just so the council's aware. Mr. Rivera already has that bond in place, is our understanding based on the dates on that bond from last year. So that's already in place. The second one, Mr. Rivera will maintain a record for each competitor, which will include the competitor's name and also plate number, and that would just be the registration for the individual as well as the plate number. Mr. Rivera agrees that should a competitor violate any ordinance, they will be stripped of any awards won, and understands that the offending party as well as the Unique Car Club will be held liable for the maximum allowable fines under the law, and that those maximums are $250 per violation. Then, should the Dunkirk Police Department receive 2 or more actionable complaints regarding the events, Unique Car Club will assist the Dunkirk Police Department with immediately shutting down the event. And I believe Chief Ortolano did state during the workshop that the car club was cooperative last year. It is understood, this being the 5th one, it is understood that should any of these conditions be violated, there will be no further consideration for future events, and any events scheduled in the future would be canceled with respect to any of these 2 applications, is my understanding.
Thank you, Mr. Bobson. Any other questions or discussion from council? If not, can I have a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as well as approve subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions? Bomano's got the motion with a second by Litskoviak.
Councilmember Laskoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
No.
Councilmember Nichols.
No.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
No, not carried.
Number 10, loudspeaker permit request from Juan Rivera on behalf of the Unique Car Club to have an indoor audio competition at his car show at the Chautauqua County Fairgrounds on Saturday, September 2nd, 2023, from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m., following all stipulations and conditions as agreed upon with the law department.
Any discussion, council?
As I said in the workshop, Councilman, that it's the time of day that these cars would be coming in, knowing that they are going to be for audio competition, and if they're coming into the city at 8 o'clock in the morning to get a good space for their, get their paperwork done for competition, I just have regards to our residents that live up there. With them coming into the city and leaving with the city, I cannot do that to them with an audio competition. Sorry.
Any other comments? Okay, if not, I need a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as well as approve subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions.
So moved.
I have a motion by Councilwoman Liskoviak, seconded by Bomano.
Councilmember Liskoviak.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
No.
Councilmember Nichols.
No.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
No, not carried.
Number 11,
11.
loudspeaker permit request from Douglas Huron on behalf of Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield of Western New York to use amps and speakers for live music on Saturday, August 5th, 2023, from noon till 4 p.m. for their second annual Family Fun Day community event at Washington Park.
Any discussion, council? Okay, if not, can I have a motion to refer to the appropriate department, insurances and usual conditions? Motion by Nichols, seconded by Bomano.
Councilmember Liskoviak.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried. Okay, report, yes, Ms.
Yeah,
Pepsi.
Mr. D'Amico, I just want to be very clear then, just with respect to, none of those conditions apply to what's been approved by the council, just so everyone's understanding.
Right.
Those conditions were strictly relative to the indoor competition. So I just want everyone to be aware of that. So Mr. Rivera also knows that there's no conditions relative to the events that have been approved June, July, and September with respect to the use of loudspeakers and the DJ. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Bobson. Okay, reports of standing committees, boards, and commission. Councilwoman Liskoviak.
Yes, first to revitalize Dunkirk, I wanted to thank them for all that they do. And Vince, regarding the Dunkirk Revitalization Initiative, it sounds like it's moving right along. When exactly will the public have their say as once the board gets the decisions on the many projects they want to go forward with? When does the public have their input along the line?
That will be announced. I don't have any dates
Yeah.
for any meetings at this point.
And that would be,
That'll be
okay,
announced.
after the board makes their decision?
No, there will be plenty of opportunity that
okay.
will be encouraged for public to, meetings for the public to attend and provide input. But those dates haven't been announced.
Okay, okay, thank you. Randy, yes, could you tell everyone where the City of Dunkirk Hero banners will be, where they're going to be going up, and I know you're moving along on that. Thank you very much.
Sure, Councilwoman, thank you for heading up that tribute to our veterans. And Jason and the Parks Division, thank you for starting that. They will be doing the Central Connection rehanging of those banners across Central Avenue for the full length pretty soon. Putting up the American flags on Central Avenue, putting up the American flags on Lake Boulevard. We're getting close to Memorial Day. Mayor and I talked about adding additional American flags. I know you didn't ask this, but I know you agree with me. Maybe all the way to the city line along Central Avenue. So if anybody's listening and wants to help us provide American flags along the power poles all the way to the entrance off the thruway, I think that would make a nice entrance to the city. The hero banners will be anchored at Memorial Park. They will start there, west of Memorial Park, and continue east along what I call the Memorial Walkway, because these banners are best viewed by pedestrians or bicyclists. You want to move slow and take your time and read about our heroes, as you call them, and I agree. And so we start there at Memorial Park, go right past there. There's 41 poles between there and Serville Street. There are 2 per pole, so we'll have 82 heroes along what I call the Memorial Bikeway, pedestrian way. And then other places we might be, East 4th Street has some availability. Also at Point Gratiot, perhaps anchored toward the lighthouse, which is a Veterans Museum. So tying it all together with other veterans items and having people walk by these things slowly so they can really read about the heroes is what our plan is. And I enjoyed working with you and your team to get this to happen. And I'd like to again thank the mayor and the Parks Division for putting them up.
Thank you so much. There's 124 this year, and it will be opening up for some more in January.
Excellent.
Glenn, I wanted to know about the update. I know the USDA sent, Wildlife Services sent regarding the seagulls, the curve of the seagull problem we have in our business district. And is it too early to notice a difference?
We shouldn't expect to see a difference immediately. They were here 2 weeks ago. They removed eggs from 250 nests. So somewhere between 500 and 750 eggs. They're scheduled to come back at 9 a.m. on Friday and do it all over again.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, that's it. That's
Thank
it
you.
for me.
Councilman Bomano.
Randy, with the weather starting to break coming up this weekend, what's the plan for the potholes? Sometime next week?
Yeah, the biggest project we want to get done first is the drainage issue on Lakefront Boulevard. I'd like to again thank County Soil and Water, Cassie Pikowski, Dave Spann, and our team, Mike Probishin, Tim Gatoka, Andy Bone, working with them. That's on the corner of Lake Boulevard in Maine. It's redirecting some storm water into a constructed wetlands. So we expect to improve the water quality on the east side of Main Street where there's a walkway there out to the breakwater, and also on the west side where you see a constructed wetland. That's a comprehensive project. It's taken quite a long time. They're finishing that up. They're going to put the riser rings on the drainage thing tomorrow and then pave around that. So that'll be the first big pothole that we created that we're going to fix, and then we'll hit all the other ones. And we had a terrible winter relative to potholes. The freezing and thawing, it didn't stay at one temperature, so the pressure of ice, it's just broken the city pavements up terribly, and we want to get to that right away.
Thank you. And I'd like to thank Mr. Fisher coming up and doing what you do for us.
Thank you. Councilman Stoyl.
Yeah, Randy, does the state have any plans on, they ran from Pennsylvania line to the city line on Lakeshore Drive, and then we stopped everything with our islands. Are they planning on repaving our end?
Mayor Rosas is working on getting that paved earlier than normal. It's a 10-year cycle of pavement, and we're 2026 would be the normal time to get that paved. But to me, it looks like a lot of patchwork in there. Be nice to get that paved and striped. Mayor Rosas might want to speak to that, and I'd also like to address the Third Ward water valve issue after that.
Yeah, I was going to just say that for those people concerned about the Washington Avenue area, it's been a long time, but Randy, myself, and Rob Curry have been working on this for a couple of months. The parts are in. I believe it's going to start Monday next week. So if you're concerned about the driving conditions around that place, stay out of the area, let the guys do their job, and it'll get done faster.
Thank you.
Thank you for your patience. And to the young lady, I don't know if they're listening or not up on Greco Lane. As soon as it dries out enough, Randy and I will be in your backyard to find out what's going on. It just, weather conditions don't permit it right now. Hang on, we're coming.
That's it for me.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Nichols.
Yes, just to remind everyone, May is brush collection month. We are in the first ward. Make sure your brush is out there. Our city workers will only make one pass per street for your ward. Next week will be second ward. So please, talk with Randy and with Glenn. If you put it out after they pass through, you could be subject to a fine. Should be out there respectively by Monday of the week of your ward's pickup, or your ward's pickup, yes. Randy, I have a question on, when people are they're doing some spring cleaning and they have paint cans, what do you advise them to do with it?
Okay, yeah, there's two things they can do with it. There's a hazardous material, the household material special collection coming up where they can bring it to the garage, and we're gonna work with the county on that. We'll announce that pretty soon, so you know when it's gonna be. And if you wanna get rid of paint, the landfill has told me how to do it. We can't take any liquids in our package, so it's gonna take a while. If somebody wants to get rid of a can of paint, if they would paint it on some cardboard, let it dry, paint it again, let it dry, and keep going until everything's dry, including the can. Then they can put it in their trash, and the landfill will accept that. Our packers and the landfill cannot accept any liquids, but we can bury dried paint. So that would be a way that people could do it immediately, or they could wait till a special pickup and bring the wet paint or other household things, and we'll now be announcing that soon.
Thank you. I just want to stress the importance of not putting glass when you're putting your trash out at the curb or bringing it out to Lucas Avenue. Please, there is a separate bin. It is marked for glass only on Lucas Avenue. If you want to explain more on that one as well, Randy, please do.
Yeah. The DEC's been working with us. Glass there's no market for glass right now. It doesn't get recycled. The landfill downcycles it and make ballast out of it. So and if we put it in with our commingled, then that recycled material that goes to Buffalo Recycling gets rejected, and they bury it at a landfill. Totally nothing gets recycled, none of the plastic, none of the cardboard, nothing. So, and we pay about 4 times the rate to get rid of that and lose the environmental benefit of recycling by doing that. So glass doesn't work with the commingle. We have a special bin up at our recycling center that's labeled for glass, and any kind of glass. If you break a window in your house, bring it up there, throw it in there carefully. And same thing with any kind of bottle you have. I mean, nobody in Dunkirk drinks anything alcoholic, so I'm sure there's not going to be anything like that in there, but whatever, if it breaks, put it in there or get your 5 cents back, and then that's even better. So it's available. We eventually will be going and picking up curbside glass. We haven't worked that detail out yet. The DEC is working with us on that. And the landfill at the county, it will allow us to take the glass to the landfill at no cost because they'll use it up. So it'll reduce our tipping fee if we collect glass. So we encourage people to bring it, and then we'll figure out a way to pick it up at the curb without commingling it. That's a work in progress.
Thank you. And is there an update on the lighting from Ferguson that they're doing throughout the city?
Sure. We're going to have a closeout meeting tomorrow on that. Ferguson and Trinity and LED Solutions have worked well together. We're a little bit ahead of time with the requirement with National Grid, and we're going to go over all the requirements with them tomorrow and close out that project. The LED lighting is fantastic. There's a couple of lights that are out that we will address those tomorrow as well. But I'd like to thank the mayor for putting together that LED project and saving approximately $300,000 a year on energy cost with the city. It's fantastic, and the lighting is safer, and it's really, and we're a pioneer in that. If you drive around other cities, you'll notice the difference between our lighting and the old high-pressure sodium.
And if residents do notice that there is a street light out, they should call 366-9832 with a poll number and location.
Yes, and I'd like to thank the police department because now that we're all up to speed, before this, they routinely will report a poll number to us as well. So their patrol because we like to have every street light working because they're definitely a safety issue.
Thank you, Randy. And Vince, I know this is, you just started on the DRI, and after I went to the economic meeting yesterday, and I asked a question, there's residents that want to know with that $10 million, and I know you addressed it yesterday, but I just want people to know right off the top now that none of that $10 million can be used for any renovations or anything done for Brooks Hospital to keep it in its current location. Could you go forward with that?
Yeah, thank you very much for asking that. It's actually a very good question because as we were beginning the process of putting together this application approximately a year ago, I actually posed a similar question to Empire State Development, to a top official who even sent it up the chain and asked. So my question was, could there be any potential projects that could result from either repurposing Brooks Hospital if and when they did leave their Central Avenue location, or for rehabilitation. And it was recommended to me to not include anything to do with Brooks Hospital in the application. Now, as I mentioned, there will be some chance for public input. Public can weigh in on that, but be aware that projects to be reviewed will be submitted through a project sponsor, meaning Brooks would have to be the entity that would submit a project for consideration, whether it's rehab or whatever, for the DRI process. This is going to be this is a very exciting time for Dunkirk. $9.7 million to fund some transformative and catalytic type of redevelopment projects. Obviously, Brooks Hospital is very important for Dunkirk and for the northern Chautauqua County. So that I can't make a determination whether it could be included in a plan. That's going to be for the local planning committee, for Department of State, and through our consultants. So my suggestion, if anyone the public wants to bring it up, we encourage public input during this process. I would much prefer to see people coming to the meetings and expressing their concerns or their thoughts, rather than doing it through social media and talking amongst themselves, because nothing gets done that way. The way projects will happen is if people come to the meetings and stand up and give us your thoughts, because we're going to go out of our way to try to get public input and to have meetings in various locations around the city during the process. And this is a once in a lifetime type of opportunity, and let's do it the right way and really come up with some good projects.
Thank you, Vince.
You're welcome.
I'm done, Jacob.
City Clerk Ramus, could you please give an update?
Sure, I just wanted to piggyback on Councilwoman Nichols' question on spring cleaning. The city clerk's office is currently scheduling for the bulk pickup on Monday, May 15th. That is pickup of household items, furniture, old tires, appliances, old grills with or without the tanks. And so we do this once a month. There are 20 slots available, and we are currently scheduling for May 15th.
Thank you, Edwin.
Thank you. And lastly, with me, Mr. Fisher, as far as Revitalize Dunkirk and your group, again, thank you. Do you have any update on how the donations are coming for the replanting of the trees up at Point Gratiot?
I don't have an exact update. I know we discussed it, and it looks pretty good. There's a lot of interest, so
Okay.
We
just gotta figure it all out.
Good luck and thank you again. Okay, let's move on to unfinished business.
There's none, sir.
Pre-filed resolutions,
There are none, sir.
new business.
There's none, sir.
Can I have a motion for adjournment?
So move.
Stoyles with a second by Nichols.
Councilmember Lescoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto. Aye. Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried, we're adjourned. Thank you.